or puns to get the message across. Then the agency said it's okay as long as the message is clear to drivers. I would say those messages are pretty clear.
Support for WNYC comes from the New York Phil. Acclaimed pianist Emanuel Ax performs Anders Hillberg's new work, the Max Concerto, and conductor Eun Sung Kim makes her New York Phil debut, February 22nd through 24th at David Geffen Hall. Tickets at nyphil.org.
On the next Brian Lehrer Show, Mozzie versus Swazi, the results. Who voted how compared to past congressional races in Queens and Nassau, and how might the outcome influence the way candidates for Congress and even president run in other swing suburban districts around the country this year. Also, WNYC's Nancy Solomon with excerpts from and your reactions to the Ask Governor Murphy call-in. The Brian Lehrer Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on WNYC.
Marketplace Morning Report is coming up next, and then in 10 minutes at 9 o'clock, it's the BBC NewsHour on WNYC. Let's check in with London to see what they're working on. London, good morning.
Good morning, WNYC. I'm James Menendez. Today on NewsHour, a controversial former general takes the lead in Indonesia's general election. We'll look at Prabowo Subianto's past and what he means for the country's future. Also, the first scientific proof that apes tease each other. But why? That's BBC NewsHour at 9 on WNYC.
It is cold out there this morning, 31 in the city under partly sunny, or mostly sunny skies right now. Icy in some spots this morning, so be careful, especially when you see untreated sidewalks. Sunny and cold today in the upper 30s, and tomorrow more clouds will hit 40 with a chance of rain and snow coming Thursday night. The weekend is looking pretty good. It's 8:52.
Inflation is not vanquished. What that means for the economy.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Fidelity. A dedicated advisor can help create a wealth plan for a full financial picture. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. And by Otter.ai. If someone's late to a meeting, Otter's AI-powered meeting assistant catches them up with a real-time meeting summary. More at Otter.ai.
From Marketplace, I'm Sabri Benishore, in for David Brancaccio. We got the latest inflation data yesterday, and as you may have heard, it was not as good as expected. The Consumer Price Index was higher in January than it was in December. That is the wrong direction. Year-over-year inflation was up 3.1%. That, at least, was an improvement over December. But the fact is we are still above the Federal Reserve's ideal inflation rate of 2%. Markets were not pleased. The S&P 500 and the Dow both fell 1.4%. The Nasdaq fell 1.8%. For more, let's turn to Ben Kumar. He's head of equity strategy at Seven Investment Management. Good morning.
Good morning.
So can we take a moment just to walk everyone through the why behind why stock markets didn't really like the fact that fighting inflation appears to be taking longer than expected?
Yeah. The really simple way to think about it is that when inflation is high, the Federal Reserve will try and get inflation lower, usually by raising interest rates. What they're trying to do is suck a little bit of the excitement out of the economy. And we can all kind of see how that works. You know, higher interest rates mean that borrowing is a bit more expensive. So we're a little bit less likely to go and borrow and spend money. And it also means that savings accounts are a little bit more attractive. We might want to put a little bit more money in the bank to earn a bit of interest. So it just slows the whole economy down. The problem is that markets, as you'd expect, equity markets in particular, don't like a slow economy. They need growth to keep investments flowing.
Yeah, and markets had one view. They didn't like it. But I'm wondering what yours is. Are you as sort of pessimistic as traders yesterday appear to have been?
Yeah, I think that traders in particular have been a little bit too optimistic about how quickly rates are going to come down across the world, to be honest with you. the Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, the European Central Bank, all of these institutions tend not to do things in a hurry. If we go back to thinking about when rates started to rise, most of the commentary at the time was that central banks had moved too slowly. I fully expect you'll see the same thing here. Inflation will come down and central banks will wait until they are 100% certain that inflation is around the 2% target. So when everyone got very excited at the end of last year that inflation was coming down quickly and rate cuts might happen in 2024, my response and the response of my firm was, let's take it easy, guys. You know, the central banks are not known for their speed. Bluntly, if interest rates are at the same level at the end of the year as they are today, I wouldn't be too surprised.
Ben Kumar is head of equity strategy at Seven Investment Management. Ben, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's do the numbers. The FTSE in London is up 0.8%. Dow, S&P, and Nasdaq futures are up in the 3 to 0.6% range, with Dow futures up 113 points. The yield on the 10-year Treasury is 4.314%. There's word this morning that Walmart is in talks to buy Vizio, the bargain television brand, for around $2 billion, according to the Wall Street Journal. And this raises a question, why? Why does Walmart want to get into the TV making business? Marketplace's Nova Safo is here to explain.
Vizio has something that Walmart's private label brand of televisions do not. Vizio has its own operating system, which means it can place digital ads, and that means a growing piece of the ad spending pie. This year, advertisers are forecast to spend nearly $30 billion in the U.S. for placements on smart televisions, which come with a trove of user data and potentially, with Walmart, information about how ad watching leads to product buying. In 3 years, eMarketer expects connected TV ad spending in the U.S. to top $40 billion. It's a rapidly growing business, and Walmart has previously indicated it wants to get in on the action, potentially making advertising more of a profit generator than what currently drives most of Walmart's earnings, the grocery business. Walmart is scheduled to report fourth quarter and full year financial results next week. That means we're likely to know within days whether this deal is happening and how Walmart expects it to impact its bottom line. I'm Nova Safo for Marketplace.
Walmart stock, by the way, is down 0.5% in pre-market trading.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Bitwarden. The Bitwarden Password Manager enables employees to securely access logins and sensitive information all in one place. Learn more at bitwarden.com. And by Progressive. Progressive Commercial Insurance offers personalized rates and customizable coverages for your business vehicles. More at progressivecommercial.com.
This Valentine's Day, the chocolate economy is not so sweet. Hershey warned last week it will be cutting jobs as part of an effort to trim costs by about $300 million. Consumers have pulled back on sweet stuff, with candy costing almost 5% more than it did a year ago, according to the latest inflation data. And costs are likely to keep climbing, as Marketplace's Megan McCarty-Carino reports.
Cocoa prices hit an all-time high last week, roughly doubling in a year, says economist John Bafez at the World Bank.
So that has been a huge shock. And that, of course, comes at a time that we have huge demand.
Most of the world's cocoa comes from just two countries, Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana, which were hit by extreme rains, thanks to the El Nino climate pattern, says commodities analyst Judith Gaines.
That caused a lot of the crop to basically fall to the ground. And with heavy rains, you also have disease.
El Nino is also the culprit in spiking sugar prices. India and Thailand saw drier weather. Gaines says shortages could ease as Brazil ups exports of sugar, but cocoa prices could stay high.
How many, cookie manufacturers are going to put fewer chocolate chips in their cookies? Or how many restaurateurs will put more flans and cheesecakes on the menu?
A bitter pill for chocolate lovers. I'm Megan McCarty-Carino for Marketplace.
And in New York, I'm Sabri Benishore with the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.